do it! Get a grip! This stupid video I just showed you! I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show! It's Sankey! You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State, it's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. That's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. It's time for a holiday special, even though it's weird. How do I want to say this? It's weird to me how it's like a holiday and it's like Happy Memorial Day. But if you think about what it means, it's like something to recognize, but not the kind of holiday that you're like Happy Memorial Day. I was thinking about it last night. It's weird. What am I going to go to my veteran relatives and say Happy Memorial Day? Hope you think about all your buddies that died. Like, it's a weird thing to say happy for. So I'm serious. I spent 10 minutes last night just sitting there thinking about the phrase Happy Memorial Day, but what that means and what it makes like the veterans. I'll get into it. It's a weird thing, the whole Happy Memorial Day, because it's like you want to recognize it, but it isn't exactly the happiest thing. You know what I'm saying? Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome back. I see a lot of the regular names here. Really, really appreciate it. Let's get in a nice little holiday episode here in the morning, and we'll get on with our day. You guys do what you need to do. Johnny Boy might end up going to the hospital. I'll get to that in a couple minutes. Been a long weekend around here. Been a long weekend around the Kennedy household. So thanks everybody for being here. It means the world to me. We'll get into it. There's a few things to discuss. Couple callers on the line. Dr. John, he's playing golf today, I'm sure. Taj, what's going on? Dr. John, I hope that short game's on point, baby. Dude, Jay Carr, you ain't kidding, man. Way too many people going to the hospital, and that includes my family too. I don't know what the hell's going on these days, but we got way too many people connected to this show that are in the hospital. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So let's get into it, and we'll do the calls. We'll see where we're at, and we'll get this going here, man. Look at this. Look at this, man. My main man Martinez paying for the phone lines, $50 holler. There you go, Johnny. A very blessed morning to you in the chat. Guess who will be at the tailgate? Yeah, that's right. This guy. Let's go, baby. Can't wait. Can't wait. We'll have the flags flying. Let's go. Tex ND, I'm stuck at the beach. Oh, that sounds terrible. That sounds horrible. I appreciate the loyalty at the beach while listening to me. Wow. Watch out for them sharks. Don't trust anything without legs. Don't trust anything without legs. I'm just glad you ain't at the hospital. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. Notifications on there where you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish, or at Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. The call-in lines, 312-988-15. You dial it up, tell Yanni Boy all you happen to heard and seen. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, brought to you by SI. Read all about it. I have not been able to write or record anything for a few days now. I apologize. I tried to get caught back up. Patreon.com/Always Irish. He the former captain. He the leading tackler. It's Mike Goolsby and myself breaking it all down. Announcement. With the holiday and some of the stuff I have going on, we're not going to do Monday Night Raw. So we're going to push that back, probably be tomorrow. Let everybody do their thing today. You got cookouts. The schedule's messed up. I have personal stuff going on. So we're going to bump that back. So everybody relax tonight. Do what you're going to do with your cookout or whatever. And then we'll be back with you. So little scheduling announcement on that one. Yeah, Jay Carr. Absorbing some sun while listening to John yell must be a very relaxing and peaceful experience. Yeah, I know. You're going to be scaring people at the beach. They're going to be running around. They're going to be running around like they seen a shark in the water or something, man. Don't be scaring the kids. Don't be scaring the kids. My main man, Martinez. The plane tickets are booked, Johnny. Gonna run a Memorial Day Murph real quick, and I'll call in 40 minutes. I don't know what that means. Who's Murph? Am I supposed to know what that means? I don't know what that is. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen. What's going on? The sound of the waves and Johnny screaming. What a perfect day. As long as I ain't screaming from in the waves, it's a good day. I don't like me. I don't trust the ocean, bro. Maybe it's because I'm from the Midwest. I have a heavy level of respect for the ocean, and I don't trust it. I know some things are way more powerful than me, and it's not going to be a fair fight, and I don't need to push it. All right, let's get into this. Welcome in, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I don't know if you're hungover, if you're going to go be hungover. I don't know what you're doing. I'm just glad you're here. Okay. So I'm not sure whether we're going to end up the bigger crowd or a smaller crowd with everybody's schedule messed up. Whatever. People can watch it back later. It'll feel good just to get it out. It'll feel good to get it out. So I don't like saying Happy Memorial Day. More like, please acknowledge what this day represents. And it's a lot more than a free day off work and a barbecue. All right. I call my veteran relatives, especially one who had my old build. I'm saying my old build. Johnny's packing on the pounds, baby. Especially one who was my old size and therefore was designated as a tunnel rat in Vietnam and saw a lot of action every single day he was there. Like the heaviest of the action you could find, and you're the skinny guy, and they go, see that tunnel? That's all you, bro. Crawl on down there and let us know what's up. Don't get blown up. Watch out for the scorpions. Watch out for the snakes they put down there. The spikes with poison on them. All of it. So I always think about it. I always call that guy, and I always think about, I say thank you for your service and all that stuff. 160. I'm pushing up 180. Well, I weighed myself last night. It was 178. That for me, for healthy weight, I'm getting there. So I'm over 175. I'm getting there. I want to see how far I can push this with real effort. So anyways, I always call that specific relative of mine that was that Vietnam tunnel rat and saw all that action and say, God bless you. Thanks for your service and all this. But I also think about what it must be like for the guys who we say this to, the ones who made it out alive. And I always think about this. You know how my brain works, man. I'm always thinking. And I always think when I tell that guy, thanks for your service and whatever, what he must think and feel. Why did that bullet hit the guy next to me and not me? Why did that booby trap explode on the guy in front of me and not where I am? Like all of that kind of stuff I start to think about, especially with Vietnam and the weird way that whole thing was positioned and where it is and the terrain and the way that war was fought and back and forth and all this. And I always just think about that dynamic. And when you say Happy Veteran Memorial Day to a guy that made it, and they think about all of their people that didn't, and there's a lot of like survivor stuff, like why me and not that? Anyways, really, really tough. These guys live with this stuff every single day. God bless them. They live with it every single day. God bless them. And I've always said this too. And I mean this sincerely. I've always said this. You cannot believe in the cause of any war America's gotten in. And there's a lot of arguments that you made some bad ones. And it's just, listen, you cannot support the cause, but support the troops. You could do that. You could. So I don't know, man. It's It's interesting. And so that's how I look at it. You don't have to support, why we got into some conflict, but the people that are there, you can support and want them to do well. So God bless those people. And you can still support them. And man, them old guys, it's a generation gone. Any of the World War II guys even alive, or we past that? Is the oldest one like passed away? Man, what a different generation. What a different generation, man. It's Tex ND. I've been caught in a riptide. Scary stuff. I'm telling you, man, it's the real deal out there. I don't mess with that ocean. I got too much respect for the power. Okay. Next, here's the deal. Sorry, I have not posted any videos. I have not written any new articles this entire weekend since Friday morning. My mom's in the hospital. I think I hope we're trending to get the hell out of there, whatever, figure out what's going on. But it's been a long, rough morning for Always Irish, or a long weekend for Always Irish's family and mom here. I see Senior in the chat. I got to tell you this, though. I got to give this credit. I'm glad you're here, Dad. Credit to Always Irish Senior. They were at the emergency room Friday morning. And I called my dad before we went live Friday morning to talk about something totally unrelated to football or anything else. I called him before the show Friday, and he didn't mention to me anything that they were in the emergency room and my mom was like having a real serious problem. He didn't want to mess up the flow of the show. He didn't want to mess up the flow of the show. So he waited until after I was done and then called me after and was like, oh, I didn't want to tell you earlier, your mom's in the emergency room. You might want to get up here, or, we have some problems here. You might want to get up here. It's not looking good. So I got to tell you, man, that is top G material. That is top G material that he didn't want to mess up my show flow, so he waited till afterwards. That's a top G right there. So I appreciate the consideration on that one. And many of you guys have met my mom by now. The sweetest lady in the world. And so it's just really unfortunate. Hopefully they can get her out of the hospital soon and whatever's going on. I'll tell you this, though. Listen, I know everybody's doing the best they can. Bad weekend to need doctors and specialists and experts on stuff. Everybody important was on vacation for the holiday. Ain't that the way it goes? Right when your people need all tests done and read and turned around quick and all this stuff. It was a lot of the fanciest doctors, they're gone on Memorial Day. They're on a yacht somewhere. Some surgeon isn't working the Sunday of Memorial Day. They're on a boat with a bunch of girls half their age. They're not worrying about John's family. So it's been a long, rough weekend. Listen, if your people are healthy, don't take it for granted. Anything can happen. So it's been a long weekend. She really is a saint. Imagine dealing with me your whole life. Imagine being partially responsible that I exist and dealing with me the way I am with all this stuff. God bless her. I hope we can bust her out of the hospital soon. So whatever, man. It's been a very long weekend. I don't like hospitals, man. It's like, and real quiet because of the holiday weekend. There's not a lot going on, dude. It messes with your mind. Me and Senior in there pacing around this mostly empty hospital wing. It messes with your mind. Not been an enjoyable weekend. God bless you, Mom. Hope you bust out of there soon. Thanks for everybody mentioning, she's nice and speedy recovery. Those of you that met her, she's really, really the nicest person I know. So I'm glad she's got that trait because I don't. Nobody's going to call me the nicest person they know. Oh, the hospital food is hilarious. They bring in that food. We're sitting there and Jill, here you go. And they bring in some hospital food, bro. I'll just starve. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't eating whatever that is. No, I ain't eating it. Look at this. We got an update from Senior. Looking better today. Good, man. Bust Mom out of there. I don't care if she's messed up, but at home, just get out of that stupid hospital. It ain't the place to be, man. Glad to hear, Dad, she's doing better. I'll touch base with him after the show. All right, so we got that out of the way. So I haven't posted anything. I haven't really had time to do anything. So I hope everybody understands that, and I'll get back going as quick as I can. So those are a couple updates for you. But always Irish Senior's a top G for protecting the show there for a couple hours. Let me get through that and then drop me some bad news. So that I just thought it was funny. He's having a normal conversation with me while they're at the ER and she's laying there like all messed up. So God bless him, man. Always thinking about the product, baby. Always thinking about the content. I appreciate it. All right, here's the deal. I got a couple bullet points, but there's already a decent line of phone calls. I think I'm gonna go to the calls, and then we'll see. I'll go back to my notes, and then everybody could go to a cookout or whatever. Tom Frawley, what's going on? 618. First up, if you're on hold, you're definitely going to be on the air. What's going on, 618?
Hey, what's going on, John?
Hey, what's up, man? What's on your mind, my friend? It's been a while. I haven't heard from you. It looks like mid-April. What'd you go on, a long vacation?
Yeah, I've been working mornings, man. So this is my day. I can finally get a day off to call in, man.
Oh man, it's good to hear from you. I guess we have a lot of time to cover here. What do you we talk a lot of recruiting when you've called historically. How do you feel about all this classes coming along, or wherever you were at in your mind, wherever you want to go?
Right now they on a hot streak, man. They're on a hot streak with the recruiting trail. I mean, hopefully they keep it up, and hopefully they keep the kids that they got on the hot that they got coming. I like the two running backs. That's a great class for running backs.
Yeah, Jawan doing a good job there, and we'll see if they could keep it going. What I liked is on the composite 247, I really like seeing 15 in that composite. Notre Dame has 15 4-stars and 1 3-star. That tells me the floor of the level of talent that it takes to get in and play at Notre Dame and get a scholarship here is being raised as far as the overall caliber of athlete here, regardless of position. I would love to see them keep up that ratio. That's my big question, my friend. As we narrow down the end of this class, do you keep it at that level, or are you getting down to where like a lot of your top guys are committed elsewhere and you got to start bumping down a little bit? I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of fans online, man. They like getting mad because of gloves. I guess it's this spring game, and it's just a high school spring game, man. I wouldn't even worry about him not having, the greatest high school spring game in history,
Yeah.
As long as he's doing what he's supposed to do when he gets to Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. I know wide receivers, one thing with this recruiting class, everybody's still looking at, and you want some more answers there. Totally fair, totally understandable. But it looks like the new regime's getting settled in that recruiting office, and they're getting it cranked up.
Yeah, man. I want to really talk about the USC Notre Dame rivalry.
What do you think? Man. Yeah, what do you make of it?
I don't care what the USC fans think. I think they're scared and they don't want no parts of Notre Dame.
Yeah. They're just going to say, hey, the Big Ten schedule, man, and all that travel, and we just can't make it work. Or if they do make it work, it's got to all be on their terms. We got to play them when they want, where they want. Like, I don't know how it's going to go, man. I don't know.
Yeah, look, man, if they don't want to play Notre Dame, that's fine. I'll take Clemson over the modern day USC any day. But man, that's a big rivalry. I mean, it's like that they got the most combined national championships of any rivalry that's going on today. I mean, including Auburn, Alabama, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State. They got the most national championships combined. And you don't want to play. It ain't like you all been to the playoffs. Why would we have to play on your term and you haven't even been good the last 10 years?
Hey, the new AD said the times are changing. We need to be open to changing some things. Whatever. I don't know, man. And they're gonna blame the Big Ten and that new schedule and the travel and everything that comes with it. That's what they're gonna say. So it's like I just I don't know, man. And what I'm saying is, if it goes away, I'm going to be upset. But if they're the ones that initiate it, I'll be able to live with it. I'm not going to like it. I'm never going to accept it. But I'll be able to sleep at night knowing they're the ones that did it and not us. Like, if that's how it's going to end, at least let it be on them.
And plus, Leak and Riley been wanting this rivalry to go away since he got to USC because he know he can't beat Notre Dame. I mean, you beat them one time and then to beat the brakes off you last 2 years. So, man, hey, it is what it is. If it go away, I'm fine with it. If it stays, I'm fine with it. I mean, I'd rather see like Miami and Clemson on the schedule like every year.
Yeah, it's you're going to get Clemson every year. Clemson's going to be on the schedule the next 12 years in a row, so you're going to get that.
Years in a row.
Yeah, you're going to get that.
Miami, because I feel like the Miami Notre Dame rivalry is a more intense rivalry than the USC rivalry is.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's really going to be interesting. And then, have you given a lot of thought to that Miami game yet? Week 1, our group seems to be pretty split on whether Miami's got a lot of talent or they don't, or if they're going to be tough or not. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people not wanting to take them lightly, and I'm seeing other people that don't respect what they're bringing to the table at all. So what do you think of the realities of that week 1 game at Miami when you break it in a new quarterback?
Yeah, I think Miami, and you got to think like this. I mean, Miami quarterback, even though he's a veteran, I mean, Carson Beck is still, they basically starting all over again with a brand new quarterback that they got to learn their system. So, I respect Miami, but I don't think they beat Notre Dame, man.
Yeah,
that defense is probably going to be horrible.
It's going to be interesting. I understand they had a major problem at wide receiver. They had a major problem in the secondary. They hit the portal hard to try and address all of those needs. They really did hit the portal hard, and we're going to have to see how put together it is week 1. And then, I don't know, you hope Notre Dame brings a good defense to town and you ease that quarterback in and you can run the ball a little bit, and there's your recipe.
I mean, you got to think last year they run defense, and their defense was terrible last year. You know, I can't wait to see Mr. Scott, man. You know, I see Athline made Notre Dame offensive line as the best offensive line in the country. I still don't see it because they got to play together. We got to see them together. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I still think Jagasaw should be the starting left tackle, but man, whatever, man. You know, I'm just hoping that it don't be Anthony Knapp, man. I think Anthony Knapp needs to be placed on the inside.
Yeah,
bring that big freshman in.
Will Black.
Bring Black in and get him acquainted.
Yeah, I know my content partner on Patreon, Goolsby, he believes Knapp is very, very undersized for the position he's at right now. Like, not the typical body size and structure you want out there. And that O-line's going to be another big part of the Miami situation. How put together they week 1 on the road in that environment, it's going to be a big part of it. Anything else, my friend? I miss you. Thanks for touching base. I'm glad to hear you're doing well on the grind.
All right, John, go Irish.
Hey, go Irish. Thanks a lot, man. It's good to hear from you. I was wondering where you were at. Hopefully work's going good. You're making that bank. Callers, we're coming back to you. Peter, get over it. Notre Dame should play anytime, anywhere the USC wants. We are better. By we, do you mean, I don't recognize your name, so I don't know whether you mean we Notre Dame or we USC. I'm not trying to be offensive. I just don't recognize the name, the screen name there. But my question would be, we're doing what we've always done with the independent, whatever, and doing our thing. USC decides to change their entire structure to join the Big Ten, to make more money and have a better schedule and do all that stuff. They decide to do that. How does it become incumbent upon us to bend over backwards to make everything they want a reality because they wanted to join the Big Ten to have more money and a better schedule? I'm not married to USC. They're a rival. We're not partners. They're a rival. So that's where I have trouble with, why does Notre Dame just have to bend over and do everything they want? They're the ones that changed the rhythm of all this by joining the Big Ten. Why does your rival then have to roll over and just accommodate to whatever you want? It's not about who's better or worse at this exact moment in the rivalry. I'm just asking, why is it incumbent on us? I'm not married to them. They're a rival. Why do I got to bend over backwards to accommodate what they need? I don't know, man. Adam, Las Vegas airport's an absolute nightmare. I bet. Every airport's an absolute nightmare. I bet. I totally understand. 415, what's going on? If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. What's going on?
Good morning, Johnny. How we doing, boss?
We're doing okay, man. Kind of a long weekend for the Kennedy family, but we're doing okay.
Well, I definitely hope that your mom is doing better. It sounds like she is, and hopefully she could get out today.
Yeah, I hope I hope Always Irish Senior backs the car up and they bust out of that joint. I'm telling you, man, it's getting weird though. It's getting weird how like a bunch of people in my chat have had health things going on, and then it hits our family too. It's a little weird. I'm getting sick of the chat being like, I'm in the hospital, my dad's in the hospital, I'm having surgery. I'm getting sick of it. So I just want things to level out for everybody.
Enjoy the time that we have, my friend. It's all about like what you do with it, because you never know when you're going to be in the hospital or dealing with something with your family or whoever,
Yeah, it's tough. Adam Dowling says, note to self, don't travel on Memorial Day. I told you that. Adam texted me when he was driving to Midway. I think it was Friday afternoon or something. He texted me and he goes, John, I'm driving to Midway. What do you think? I said, you may as well drive in Lake Michigan. You'll get there quicker. I told him, you're Adam. You're asking for it. Adam travels when everyone else travels, and it's just you're asking for trouble. Memorial Day airport? I don't know about that.
No doubt.
Woof.
No doubt. That has to be something where it's like, all right, there's no other day that we can travel. This has got to be it. So you just make it happen.
Oh, man, that's rough. I want to know, are you feeling better? You sound stronger than you did the other day.
I'm better. It's I'm not awake every hour and a half throughout the night, but it's getting better. It's going to be a long recovery and hopefully to be back on the fire engine sometime this summer.
Man, that's I wish you nothing but the best. Speedy recovery there. And thank you for your service, by the way, keeping the fires out. What's on your mind, my friend? We're in an interesting juncture of the summer here. Where's your mind at?
Actually, I could have gone USC, but he touched on it a little bit. I think it means a lot for different people depending on where you come from and where your mindset is and the history that you have with it. Like Pat talked about it on his when he was on your show, and about how he used to watch the games with his dad and it has like a deeper meaning and all these different things. I think it was either Tom or Tim. I think it might have been Tim was talking about like, the bigotry of where that rivalry came from in terms of we were not allowed to go into the Big Ten because of the Irish immigrant thing. And then we have this rivalry with USC that happened every single year without pause. And it created this dynamic that we, had each and every year. And so people remember that part. And then you have a whole new generation that they barely remember the Bush push. And so it just depends on your perspective of where you grew up, who you grew up with, and whether or not that rivalry meant that much to you. Someone like myself, it means a lot because I tend to be a little bit of a historian with it, and I'll watch it and see it in the past and then kind of, implement that into today. So for me, it would be the same thing where I'm just, it would really suck. I think it's stupid for just college football to lose something like this. It's the same thing if Ohio State and Michigan didn't play against each other. I think that's dumb. If Texas or Oklahoma didn't play against each other, I think that's ridiculous. Auburn, Alabama, there are certain things you just make happen. Doesn't matter what conference you're in, doesn't matter what alignment you're in, just make it happen. Be a part of the 12 games. So that's where I kind of leave it with that.
Yeah, it's man, I don't know how this is all going to work out. Over the weekend, I was thinking more about this new playoff format too. I mean, we got to acknowledge, I know people are worried about that, like potential double bye layoff situation Notre Dame might have. Don't overlook the fact that I think it was pretty good negotiating by Bavacqua to get Notre Dame eligible for a bye. And what did he have to give up? I'm not aware that Notre Dame sacrificed anything there to be able to get that. I think that's a big win for Bavacqua, is it not? Is there any other way to look at that?
Yeah, I think, I think he's doing a really good job of fitting in and kind of getting along, but at the same time implementing his kind of strength in the room. And I think he's doing a really good job of this. I think he's able to sit here and say that okay, no problem. If we're going to go ahead and expand the playoffs or teams to 16, well, and then you want 4 guaranteed, then you got to make sure that there's 3 guaranteed on the outside, and one of them could possibly be for Notre Dame if they're within that top, regardless of conference championships or not. And so he's doing a good job of putting us in a position for success. And, you don't go in there and just bulldoze through and but tell people like, this is how we see it because we're Notre Dame and have this like level of arrogance and things like that. It's more of like, you're going in there saying, let's work together to make it so that all parties are at least somewhat happy or stoked with what it is that we're putting out there for the masses. And I think he's doing a good job. I really do. At least as far as right now. We'll find out, like we said before, in the next 5 to 6 years, all things are going to be changing, or maybe they just tweak a little bit based upon what is implemented each year. But I do feel like he's doing a good job.
Yeah, and the thing that's interesting is about expanding to 16 and kind of the pushback to some of the guaranteed spots they want to hand out. The other way to think of it is the more guaranteed spots there are to hand out, the less at-large good teams there are going to be to fill out that bottom when you're obligated to put all those other teams in. I just feel like you're going to end up in a spot where what's left, Notre Dame has a pretty good chance at a decent year to be in that group, right? Like, that's how I'm seeing it. I don't know. What do I know?
Well, for sure. And especially like you talked about, what was it? 2029, I think it was, or I can't remember. I think it's 2029 when we play against, Texas, Alabama, and like all these big time schools. And you don't know what you're getting into as far as a gauntlet. You might have 2 losses, there's a good chance, or maybe even 3. And what if you squeak in at the end on the 16th seed? You never know. So it's not always, when you look at the schedule and the way it's set up, or just with injuries and, the great equalizer of injuries, you don't know what's going to happen in your situation of a season.
Yeah.
So you might have a season where you have 2 or 3 losses and you get in possibly at the 16th seed. So it just all bodes well for Notre Dame. When they were talking about expanding it and they were talking about even the guaranteed bids and all that, that's fine. Let the Big Ten and the SEC and whoever else, they can all have their guaranteed slots. That's fine. This is kind of our guaranteed slot. As long as we do what we need to do, we're in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And just like anything else with all this, you don't know till the data starts coming in. So right when everybody gets used to whatever the format is, they're going to probably adjust it anyways. So it's just really interesting. And you just want to keep yourself where you feel like you're in a good position to contend for all this, but also be flexible enough to change things if you need to. So I don't know, man. It seems like a good negotiating win by Bavacqua, and we'll see where we fall on it. So I don't know, man. Anything else? It's good to hear from you on the holiday.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to be curious as to ask you, who do you think else we are going to be scheduling? Just because in like 2026, we have 10 teams locked in, including USC, right? 5 out of the 10 are ACC teams already. Are they still looking to possibly have Stanford or some other West Coast team, to get that, kind of exposure of Notre Dame coming out to the West Coast? Are they still looking to do something like that?
It's a good question.
Who do you think the other 2 teams?
Here's my bigger concern. My bigger concern with all of this is if USC does what everybody thinks they're going to do and pulls the plug, I am starting to look at like that 29 schedule you referenced with Texas on it and Alabama and all that stuff. That's where my mind goes is, are those other teams going to follow suit? And like, is USC the dam that kind of breaks this all? And then once one team doesn't schedule Notre Dame anymore, do those other teams go, well, USC's doing this. Why are we playing Notre Dame if we don't need to risk a loss? I need an answer to that.
You know what?
I need an answer to that.
John,
I want to know, because all of those good schedules could go bye-bye if those teams pull off, and then that puts pressure on Notre Dame to figure out what you're going to do next. That's my big picture fear with all this scheduling stuff. Is USC the tip of the iceberg with this problem?
I don't think it is. And no one here is going to be able to say definitively, or anywhere is going to be say definitively whether it will or will not happen, because each school gets to make their own decision on this. But the reality is this: with the 16 team playoff, more than likely going to happen. 4 of those are guaranteed for the SEC, 4 for the Big Ten, 2 for the ACC. It's guaranteeing them spots. So if they have 3 or 4 losses, they still might get in the playoffs.
Yep.
You know, there's a chance that they could get into the playoffs over a 3-loss Notre Dame or something to that degree. So the point is that I don't think they're going to do that. It has too much for the regular season ratings and money, right? Which is what this whole thing is about, is going to be about how much cash they can, and how much revenue they can build up. So why would they take away a Notre Dame, Alabama? Why would they take away a Notre Dame in Austin, Texas, or Florida? I just don't see it, because people are jazzed about this. People are looking afar, like at 5, 6, 7 years, going, man, I'm going to travel to that. It's the same thing when I saw Wisconsin and Notre Dame at Lambeau Field. That's an iconic location. It's just something you want to go see. Yeah. So now bolster it up with a real college town of like Austin, Texas, or Alabama, and you're just like, of course, So I don't feel like they're going to pull out and just say, we're done. We don't want to do it because we don't want to, risk a loss. They're still going to be playing, middle Alabama State. You know what I mean? They're still going to be playing those like super, almost Division II teams in order to like bolster up their record. And so I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I think they're looking at it on the bigger picture.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. I do see an angle here for the Big Ten and the SEC to squeeze Notre Dame if they want. Mike, 3883, $5 hour. OSU played and beat Notre Dame 3 times. OSU and the Big Ten and SEC don't need Notre Dame. Go play and almost lose to Toledo on Peacock and see who watches. Whoa, we got a little Notre Dame negativity here. But there really is an angle for those 2 conferences to squeeze Notre Dame if they wish. And if USC busts that seal, then I'm wondering if other teams follow suit. And it's a lot easier to do so if you let USC kind of take the brunt of any pushback of that. And then we go from there. Anything on the way out, my friend? Great to hear from you. Glad you're healing up.
Yeah, just to give you a little history on that, you were asking what's a Murph, and the Murph it's a workout it's to honor, excuse me, Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who was a Navy SEAL who was killed in Afghanistan. Excuse me.
Good to know.
It's a pretty grueling one. It's like something like 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and running a mile both at the beginning and at the end.
Ooh.
And it's something that they used to do in Afghanistan to try to, stay fit. So it's a tribute to Michael Murphy who passed away.
Good to know.
That's what that is.
Really good to know. Really appreciate the information. Hey, have a good one with the family, man. You take it easy, okay? Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too. You too, John. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
See ya. I'm glad he sounds better. He had that surgery and he called the other day and he sounded whacked out. Angela, mom's in the hospital. You weren't there in the beginning. I'll just tell you, I didn't have time to text you. Now, mom's in the hospital, Angela. The tailgate's canceled. I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Well, hold on a second. Callers, we got people on off day, so we're going to go ahead and keep it moving on the calls. 386 up in the mix. What's going on?
Hey, Johnny. Happy Memorial Day, man.
Oh, thanks. What's going on, my friend? Good to hear from you.
Good to talk to you. I've been busy, but always listening to the show and whatnot. But first, want to just say, thinking about Jill, I've talked to her so much at the tailgate. Such the sweetest lady ever. It's so nice. So I hope that she recovers and does well.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, man. It's been a rough few days. So I think I'm hopeful we're trending in the right direction, but it was just kind of scary for a while there. So never take your health for granted. All your people that are healthy and able to get to a tailgate and do all that. And a lot of people from here know her now and have met her. So I feel comfortable talking about it. And quite frankly, what a break. It's just kind of nice to talk about football after the last few days. So I'm happy to be here.
No, for sure. I bet you're just looking to talk ball and stuff like that. But here's how I think of the USC thing. The more I've kind of just watched this develop, it kind of feels like Floyd Mayweather fights. Floyd Mayweather was always the A side, right? He made the rule. He set the tone for what was going to happen when he was negotiating his next fight. Notre Dame inevitably is the A side in this. And if USC isn't going to bend or give in to anything to extend the series to make it more equitable on both sides, then I think Notre Dame's totally fine with moving on. Now, what you said about, will this be the domino? Will other programs or other teams do this too? It's possible, but I feel like that's a risk we got to take. Like we're the A side in this. So at some point we got to get what we want. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, there's just a really fine line. Bavakwa is in an interesting spot right now in Notre Dame football history. He needs to position us to be competitive now in all ways, financially and viability in the playoff. And he also needs to make sure he positions us with enough flexibility that if things really change in a major way, that he can pivot Notre Dame in the direction that makes sense. That's how I see Bavakwa's role right now, is to position yourself to be competitive now, but have the flexibility to pivot if you need to. If the Big Ten and the SEC try and squeeze you or blackball you once every 100 years, they blackball the Irish Catholics, whatever they're doing. And so it's an interesting spot Bavakwa's in. He's doing the best he can. I think he's doing a good job with it.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's a good point. We're not tied to a conference. So we cannot get caught flat-footed when these changes to the playoff happen.
Yep.
And I think that the University of Bavakwa seems like such a smart, younger type guy who understands the ins and outs of this stuff and these ordeals. So that's a really good point. If we get caught flat-footed, it could be really, really bad.
Yeah.
But I think that we are so prepared basically for anything that might happen that, you know, if the playoff changes, if the format changes, it's unbeneficial to us, we're going to be able to make a change. But yeah, the schedule is going to be interesting because what are we going to do now? We love going out to the West Coast at the end of every year. It's just going to be so different not having that every single year on the schedule. So it's interesting times.
The other thing is, I'm not saying that it's official yet. And then TD for ND writes, is the Big Ten pushing USC to cancel the USC series? That's what I think is interesting about this. That's a non-conference game. So I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if the Big Ten's involved in that discussion about their teams in the Big Ten when it comes to their non-conference scheduling. I'm not sure whether that's in the purview of the Big Ten to have a proper opinion on or not. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I know this. If USC does this because Riley wants it or USC wants it or whatever, they're going to say it's because of the Big Ten to knock the blame off. So they're going to go, oh, the Big Ten, this and that. That's probably the angle they're going to defer to if this goes through, rather than just say, we don't want to play you anymore and risk a loss. Like, so I don't know if the Big Ten, this is in their purview or not. I don't know.
Yeah. Is there a deadline to when this series needs to be extended by?
That's a good
or
question. We got to get Bavakwa on the show and ask him. That's a really good question.
Yeah. Send an email to his PR team. We need an update from within.
Yeah. Like that's a really good question. So I see Bavakwa's role as being very tedious, man. You got to position us now, but also allow the flexibility to pivot should the circumstances change and you get squeezed. So whether that's, crawling back to the ACC for a couple more games a year, doing something with the Big 12, I see that spoken about, whatever you got to do. So I don't know, man. We just got to play it by ear. And whatever. Line the teams up and go play them.
Line them up. And honestly, look at it, with the 14 play or the 12 team playoff, we're only a year into it. And now we can get a bye. We can finish in the top 4. We can finish number 1. So for us, it's like we have the utmost flexibility. We are not tied down to any conference. We're not tied down to any type of scheduling. The only thing that's going to hurt us is if more teams like USC start to say, you know what, we don't want to do this. We don't want to schedule these big games. We don't want to schedule Notre Dame. That's the only time and the only reason that I see us having to join is if we come into schedule conflicts. But look at the slate for week 1 this year. You got Texas at Ohio State. You've got some major matchups. It's not like all these programs are steering away from scheduling big matchups.
Yeah.
So I think this is just a small blip compared to the grand scheme of it. Like we have Wisconsin, we have Alabama, we have Texas, we have all these scheduled games coming up. I just find it super hard to believe that all these other programs are just gonna be like, no, because when these two teams like that match up with each other, it's just a big moneymaker. It's huge.
Yeah.
So I just don't see it going away.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I just don't see it going away.
And I think there's a couple different theories about these teams and conferences could look at it. If you expand out to 16 and so much of it's based on where you finish in your conference, you may look at it and be like, there's really not that much risk to play Notre Dame. If we could still get the guaranteed spot through our conference record, host Notre Dame per se, fill the joint, have a bunch of TV eyeballs and every seat filled and everything that comes with playing Notre Dame. And so maybe some teams think that there's more flexibility and less risk playing Notre Dame. And then others may say, we just need to schedule for loss prevention. That's all I want to do is schedule loss prevention. I'm not scheduling any art team out of conference unless I have to, because I don't have to. And why risk a loss if I could schedule Central, Southern, somebody, nobody? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point too. I think when you look at most conferences, the top half is probably going to have one view on that, and the bottom half will have another view. It's like Ohio State. They know if they get a win against Notre Dame, it's a huge win for the season. If they take a loss against Notre Dame and Notre Dame is very good, it's not like it really hurts them that much. So I think you would have teams in an individual conference that have different perspectives on it, and that's totally fine because every program is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point too.
Yep. It's going to be really interesting. The one I'm looking at most is 29 because it's juiced with brand name helmets all over it. And I just want to see if that all plays out or not. So it's going to be really, really interesting. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for calling on Memorial Day.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for taking the call. It's good to catch up. We're under 100 days away. So we're strapped in. The long days of summer are here. So we just got to get through June, get to July 4th, and then it'll be like that. We'll be at game 1.
Yeah, it's here. It's going to be here before you know it. You get to 4th of July, you're over the hump, only a few more weeks, and then you're into camp, and we do it all over again, baby. So let's try and maintain our collective sanity until then, and we'll get back at it. Hey, enjoy Memorial Day, man. I hope you guys do something fun this afternoon.
Hanging by the pool. Have a good one, Johnny.
You can't beat that. Hanging by the pool. It's been cold here, bro. It's been real cold here. Walter, $10 holler. Walter White, WW. When USC mans up and agrees to having the game every year on Thanksgiving weekend, Notre Dame will go to the Big Ten. Blank their September offer. We run the rivalry. 52, 38, 5. 10 of the last 14 is pretty good. Callers, I'm coming right back to you. This cracked me up. The Little Debbie. Somebody said Little Debbie, and he said Little Diabetes. They need to change the little girl on the cover to represent that. Look at this, Adam. I've been complaining about this for years. I'll never understand it. Why do half the people at the airport think they should wear pajamas or nothing at all? I don't understand. Do you remember in the old days when it was classy to travel via air and people would literally wear their Sunday's best and the men were in suits with their hats and the girls were all dressed up in their heels and you fly somewhere and it was classy? I don't understand half these people I see getting ready to fly look like they're homeless. How do you even afford a plane ticket? They look homeless, raggedy. Put yourself together. It isn't about flying. It's about going in public. It isn't just about flying. I'm getting sick of people going out in public in your pajamas all the time. Pull yourself together when you're going in public. But maybe you need to start making air travel way, way, way more expensive. This may be one of the few things where I'm literally going to go classist and say maybe it's time to start raising that cost. Maybe, I'm serious, maybe you need to raise the cost of flying so a regular person in their dirty flannel undies can't sit by me on the plane. It just, I understand the idea of being kind of comfortable when you're flying. I understand that. But it's everything in public. These people walk around. It's like, put yourself together. Bothers me. It bothers me. Chicago's very own Tom Frawley. What's going on, Tom?
My brother, you just made me laugh there. Listen, first of all, happy Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, thank you.
And here, I said a quick decade of the rosary for your mom. As soon as I found out, I hope she gets out of there as well. So we got that business taken care of. I want to talk about the USC stuff real quick. So here's what I'm thinking. If USC goes off the schedule and they quit it, then you supplant USC on a home-and-home series year in and year out with Miami. This is why Miami was put on the Notre Dame schedule years ago anyway. Because Notre Dame didn't go to bowl games before 1969, they put Miami on the schedule for Thanksgiving weekend so that the kids had some warm weather to play in. The years that USC played Notre Dame at home in October. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So, and you could also start a home and home series with Oklahoma. Now they have played, Notre Dame and Oklahoma have played each other in home and home series down through the years.
But how do how do we know they're not going to go down the USC angle and be we don't need this or whatever?
Hold on. And I'll tell you why. Because of what the previous caller said about, the people are starting to realize, okay, wait a minute. We can't let in this AI-driven, internet-driven, everything we got to have done right now moment. You got to when they put Saban in charge as the governor of college football, I think that's what he's going to mandate. And he's got to get these college presidents, chancellors, and athletic directors to say, what are you doing to our game? Is it necessary that Notre Dame, Alabama, and the rest of the Blue Bloods play 3 cupcakes every year? I mean, Christ, what are you doing? What are you doing to our game? So I think there will be some pullback from there because like the caller mentioned, and we talked about the 2029 schedule. And it's there. People want to see those games. How many Mercers can you play? How many as in Alabama, how many Louisiana Techs are you going to play? And then Notre Dame, how many MAC schools are you going to play? Come on, what are you doing? You've got to save the game. First of all, it's gotten too progressive too fast. With the NIL and the transfer portal, there was no governor put in place. There was nobody watching this because all the TV athletics directors and the chancellors and the university presidents, all they saw was dollar signs. The networks were running the game. You've got to take the networks out of this a little bit and say, hold on a second. This is a great product. It's a more attractive product, and I'm going to say this, and people will disagree, than 90% of the NFL. When you have the big college matchups on a weekend, look at the ratings.
Yeah. It's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it. And the other part of it, Tom, is like I said before, if you're going to expand that playoff and give these guaranteed spots to a bunch of teams if for their conference record, maybe some teams don't see playing a tough non-conference opponent as like the big risk it was before. Maybe that frees some teams up to be like, we could play this game and it won't kill us and whatever. And we could still get in on the conference. We could still get in on the conference record side. Like, I mean, there's a couple different angles on this, but will these people want to work with Notre Dame or stick it to Notre Dame? That's my question. And I don't know where their head's at or where their heart's at, but I know a lot of them, I know where their wallet's at, and their wallet should say play Notre Dame.
Well, here, John, I agree. And look, when are we going to put this playing patty cake with the Big Ten? Put that aside. They've never liked Notre Dame. They hate Notre Dame. So you know what you do? Then you cut deals with the top Big 12 teams. Maybe play Oregon, like you said. Supplant these guys. You know what? The only reverence I have for any team in the Big Ten is Michigan. Is because they taught Notre Dame the game of football. So if we're going to if we're going to be true to ourselves and really embrace it, you have to tip your hat off to Michigan. Even with the bullshit that they pulled in the 1930s, 40s, you know, when they started the anti-Catholic stuff and wanted Notre Dame out of the Big Ten, that was just stone jealousy. We're in a new age, and I say you can tell the Big Ten to go screw themselves. We basically are a member of the ACC. Fill the rest of the schedule in with top-tier teams that will play us, and you know why they'll play us still? Because it helps their recruiting. There's a positive ripple effect. When they know Notre Dame is on the schedule, you know, 2 years in a row, you tell a kid out in the West Coast or down south, you say, hey, man, we get a chance to play at Notre Dame. That still matters, especially when Notre Dame is toward the pinnacle of college football again, where they belong. So, you know, I think Notre Dame's in good shape. The stewardship that the Father Dowd and Bavacqua have in their hands, it's in good shape. So they have to make incremental decisions on the scheduling. And that's going to happen because, you know, and here, if they're going to do that, there's other teams in the Big Ten that will still schedule Notre Dame. Iowa would schedule Notre Dame. Nebraska would schedule Notre Dame. So would Illinois, given the chance.
See, so, I mean, Tom, you are more certain of that than I am.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm being unnecessarily conspiratorial when I ask if USC does this. Does that trigger a bunch of other teams start going, if USC isn't even going to play them with the conference thing, we don't feel obligated to. Like, I don't know that. I don't know whether this is groupthink or if these individual schools are going to look at that and be like, a home and home with Notre Dame would be good for the sport and good for everybody. Let's do it. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be overly conspiratorial, but the Big Ten has a history of sticking it to Notre Dame. So I don't know.
Well, John, look, you're going to have those Notre Dame haters that don't want anything to do with Notre Dame. They want to jackpot Notre Dame put them in the jackpot every time they can, by not putting them on the schedule. But look, I'm reading all the message boards and the feedback from the USC fans and ex-USC and former USC players. They're like, what are we doing here? And they're pissed off too. So I don't blame USC fans at all. It all starts with Lincoln Riley. He's the one that started this talk, and it took fire. And then whoever the windsock of an athletic director and chancellor is now at USC, maybe he's got an idea. It's like screwing up a brand new toy. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Or it's like walking into somebody's home and there's a beautiful baby grand piano in their living room, and you just decide to take a piss on it. What are you doing? I mean, it's kind of a stark analogy, but you get my point. Look, I'm looking at a lithograph that came out of a Notre Dame program in the early 90s. Notre Dame, you remember they used to put them in the program? They were paintings. I had my wife, God rest her soul, she took all of these different ones that I had and had them framed for me. and I'm looking at the one in my living room wall, Notre Dame versus USC. It's the game, and it's a color lithograph of all the great Notre Dame USC games. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's college football. You know, and even in the big business world of things, people still want to preserve it. So I guess at that point, you just say the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the wisdom to change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yeah.
Projecting about what these people are going to do, it's out of our hands, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's enough sanity in the world and people that love college football that they'll try to preserve it as much as possible.
That makes sense. The final thing I'll ask you, and we'll let you get on with your Memorial Day. I would like to know what do you think of the job Bavak was doing so far of navigating Notre Dame through these uncertain seas in the modern world? What do you think of the job he's done so far?
I'm a fan, John. I'm a fan of this guy. He's a class act. He knows well, look, he was chairman of NBC Sports. So he knows how the networks think. He also knows athletic tour. And coming in under Jack Swarbrick, you know, he did a little apprentice for about 7 or 8 months, didn't he?
Yep.
So, you know, he didn't just say, here's the keys to the car. Good luck to you. No, he made sure to make him aware. And I'm sure Bavak knew the pitfalls. He knows where the bias is against Notre Dame. And he stands up for Notre Dame in these meetings. And, you know, at the risk of sounding pompous or sanctimonious about Notre Dame, we are Notre Dame. This is Notre Dame football. So either you take care of that legacy or you throw it in the toilet. And I know that Bavak isn't going to do that. And last thing, you're right. Traveling on airlines these days
it's bad.
Is a trip.
It's bad.
I mean, it's real important. Isn't it great to sit next to some obese mama that had to run to get her flight? She sits next to you down with the Panda Express food. She can't wait for 2.5 hours. She couldn't fast for 2.5 hours. You got to sit right next to you and smell up the entire airplane.
That's exactly how it goes. That's exactly how it goes. And you know, and she's the same one that puts her nasty ponytail over the seat thing so it's in the guy behind her face. She's also the one kicking them shoes off and letting them nasty dogs breathe all over the plane. I'm sick of these people. It's every plane. Every plane seat should be like a limo where you hit the button and the walls come up and protect you in your little area.
Well, you know what? You just described the quintessential Ohio State fan. That's all I got for you. Happy
nice end,
Memorial Day, my friend.
Nice job at the end, buddy. Enjoy your day. Nice touch at the end. Nice parting shot by Tom, Chicago's very own. He's Chicago's very own. Oh man, I want Indy and USC and the Wolverines to play every year and beat their beep. Hope to see another season like last year for Notre Dame. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting. What did we got? We had that interesting discussion there with Mark, by the way. Yeah, Mark with skids. That's a good one. That's a good one, man. Buy dark undies. That's all I can tell you. For an extra layer of skid protection, you just buy dark undies, bro. And then if anything happens or whatever, and you're out on a date, something goes wrong, you got some chance hiding in them dark drawers. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know. You know what? Mark with skids. I just can't. That's funny to me. I'm sorry, Roger Dodger. I do believe it could be a blackball situation with the Big Ten and the SEC. This is a real possibility. I did not know, you guys. I don't want to be overly conspiratorial if it's unwarranted. I'm just wondering if USC, our biggest, longest historical rival that's like a big brand, if they're doing this, why would other SEC and Big Ten teams not do it? If the number one team we have this deal with isn't doing it, then maybe, I don't know. So it is, I will see what happens. I don't know. 574, what's going on? Local to South Bend, Indiana Jones. What's up?
Hey, John, I hope you're having a good Memorial Day so far, and hopefully it gets better with the news of your family.
You know what? I got to tell you, man, thanks for mentioning that. It feels good to be here with the people. Like, right? There's a sense of normalcy that comes with the immaturity of this chat that I appreciate. And it's really pleasant compared to all the other stuff. So I enjoy it. Thank you.
Oh, no, my pleasure. No, everything's going pretty good. I will say there's something that the last caller said that I do slightly disagree of, and there's one reason for that. He said that we can schedule any team in the SEC and Big Ten to replace USC. I don't think either conference would let us play certain teams, and here's why. Every year, what does the Big Ten and SEC do during the last bit of the season in the bowl games? They compare each other who won the more games, which team won the national championship, who won the most bowls. When Notre Dame plays either conference and beats one of their powerhouses, what's the conversation? Wow, you guys suck. You guys lost to Notre Dame. Your best team, one of your best teams lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That's the message.
Okay,
so
but wait,
10,
but does it would it?
The Big Ten makes.
Go ahead.
So when the Big Ten makes schedules for us, and we say we would like to play any team, what do you think they're going to say? Oh, you can play Purdue. You can play Northwestern. We're not going to let you play somebody like Michigan or play Washington because those are some of our better teams, and we don't want to look bad to the rest of the country. Same goes for the SEC. They will only schedule the lower half or their best team because they have a better confidence their best team will beat us.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether this is going to be groupthink against Notre Dame or each individual school looking at their situation. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't.
Here's the conversation I want to have for you. Back a few years ago, when Notre Dame set the schedule for Notre Dame to play Alabama, what was the idea back then? Oh, Alabama's on the top of college football. We'll play Notre Dame. We'll beat the crap out of them, just like we did with the other teams that we played at first games of the year, like Wisconsin, USC, Louisville, Florida State. We beat them. We'll beat Notre Dame too. Well, now that doesn't seem the message anymore. I mean, from what we know, Notre Dame could actually beat Alabama in the next couple of years, and don't be surprised if they try to cancel that game.
Yeah. It's, man, I don't know. That's why my default setting is making sure Bavacqua navigates Notre Dame into position where they're currently competitive and have access to the playoff and the proper money they need, while being flexible enough that if something bad happens with these schedules, you can make a move. I am sure Bavacqua was thinking 2 or 3 steps down the road. If this happens, we can go here. If this happens, we can schedule here. Like, he seems like the type of guy that should be smart enough to be able to anticipate if it, like, all these different scenarios, if it kind of goes bad, or if both the Big Ten and the SEC don't want to play us anymore, then what? Like, you got to kind of think these scenarios through. Maybe I'm overthinking it. And maybe USC is an individual outlier because they are weak-minded LA people. Maybe that's all it is, and everybody else wants to play Notre Dame. Maybe I'm overdoing it. It's just them. I don't know.
I'm just saying, think of it this way. Think of it this way. They're not going to let us play anybody. Or if they do, they're going to have them play their best team because they have more confidence that they're going to beat us. Or in their thoughts, oh, if we beat them by 14 or 17, then that just gives us ratings, gives us money, and then we're good. But we have Michigan playing. We play Michigan in a couple of years. If we beat them badly, do you think they'll reschedule us?
See,
no.
But again, I struggle with that kind of thing too, because a lot of these rivalries are kind of like they cycle through who's up and who's down. Doesn't that seem kind of rough to like just make that big picture decision based on the current up and down cycle of where each team is at? Like, I struggle with that too, because there's a bigger picture there than just who's up and down in that moment or that year.
Like I said, I truly believe this is what these conferences have in their mind. They want to have their best programs look good and stay good. If they have the choice of having Notre Dame play any of their teams, they're going to pick their bottom tiers or their best team so they don't look bad compared to the rest of the country.
Yeah. It's going to be really, really interesting. And you know what, though, man, it is kind of frustrating. Like, just having this discussion's a little frustrating, right? And you just want everybody to want to be competitive and play as many good teams as you can and let the results be where they fall. The Clemson thing's going to be really good, but it isn't USC. It isn't Michigan. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Just put teams in front of us and we'll keep trying to win them. I don't know.
Well, my point is this is just for the Big Ten and SEC. It has nothing to do with the ACC or the Big 12.
Yeah.
They'll play Notre Dame just because there's a respect of Notre Dame and the ACC, and we haven't talked to the Big 12. Actually, I don't think we ever will.
Yeah, and you know what, man? The more of this goes on, the more people talk to me about the Big 12. Maybe Notre Dame should just start scheduling some of those teams to fill it out, and we could do a deal with them. And I don't know whether people will like that, not like that, think it's something new. Like, I don't know what people would make of it, but I see that come up a lot.
I think the only thing that you would want to do is if you do schedule the Big 12 is if Texas or Texas A&M doesn't want to play us anymore, fine, we'll schedule Texas Tech and we'll make it a recruiting week.
Yeah. There's an idea too. So I don't know, man. It's just it's long. I have confidence in Bavacqua to keep us in a position to be able to do what we need to do and have flexibility if we need it. And the bottom line is Notre Dame's never going to end up without a home with nobody wanting to deal with them. That's just not going to happen. Even if you hate them, you know what they bring to your TV ratings and your stadium. You know what I mean? You can always fall back on that because that ain't going anywhere. That's just money. That's facts.
Yeah, I know. But I also think that the way the committee in college football is going is not in a healthy spot. Because say if we do drop USC and they magically get better, what are the odds that we're going to be playing them in the college football playoff? Like, it's not a goodbye. Some people are going to argue like it's a see you later.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then it would do that. Listen, if you had this big drama-filled thing and USC's not scheduling Notre Dame every year, and then they match up in the playoff, it will magnify the effect of that moment significantly with all that bad blood and all this stuff. Like, that will amplify it significantly. But nothing can replace that battle of ways of life and different value systems that you had once a year. Whose value system is going to prevail? Theirs or ours? That battle I love, and it's deeper than just on the gridiron.
I mean, that battle's not happening on a football field. That battle happens more right now in recruiting. And, I mean, we don't play Michigan anymore, but is it still hostile when you look online, when you look at recruiting? The rivalry's still there. It's just not being played on a football field.
Yeah, that's a very good point too. And it is a little interesting. Chad got off to that hot start in LA, and now it's starting to cool off just a little bit. And we'll see, man. I don't know how it's going to go, but Bavacqua's going to keep us nimble. That's what I ask of him. That's his job right now. Keep the program nimble enough to be able to pivot if you need to, or stay course if you can. And I trust Bavacqua to do a good job there.
I do too. And that's why I feel so happy to know that we have somebody that's on the committee, because that gives us an edge. The fact that you have somebody on a committee and they didn't tell you what they want the future to be for college football, that gives Notre Dame an edge to be like, all right, here's what we're going to do for our scheduling from now on.
Yeah, and listen,
and that puts us ahead of everybody else, because they may have representatives in the Big Ten, but they don't have an actual person that's part of a team in that room.
Yeah, it is. Yep, I'm with you. And listen, I think it's a win by Bavacqua to be able to get Notre Dame to eliminate the committee, eliminate the Notre Dame no-buy tax without giving up anything. I didn't see any report that Notre Dame had to concede anything to now be eligible for the buy. That is a total negotiative win by Bavacqua in a room full of people that all have conference allegiances, and then him. That's a big win. I want to give the guy credit for that.
I also love some of the experts who are talking to the people who are saying that Notre Dame needs to join a conference or this isn't fair. Their argument is, well, why don't you go independent? Yeah. Like, a lot of Penn State fans, I've seen a lot of their fan base is complaining about that. It's like, well, why didn't you go independent? All right, you did, but you joined a conference because you couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's
and now you're telling us to do it because, you're being too successful. No. Just because one kid's lemonade stand is doing better than yours doesn't mean that it's unfair. No. Just you couldn't stick it.
Yeah, it is. I'm with you. I don't know, man. This stuff is. There is an angle here for the big two conferences to try and squeeze Notre Dame, and that's what I'm waiting to see if they have the balls to do it or not. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go, or if it's school by school, or if the conferences themselves are going to say enough's enough with Notre Dame, squeeze them, make a more permanent decision. I don't know how it's going to go. I just want to see our boys play teams and win.
Yeah, I do too, and I'm very confident this year. I think the one thing I wanted to bring up was the Miami game. I know a lot of people are going to be cautious about the game. I am a little bit, but I'm also not going to be stressed over it, because here's how I see things. Yes, they did go into the portal and replace a lot of pieces, one of them being quarterback. If I remember right, did they not say that Carson Beck might have had nerve damage when he got hurt in that SEC championship game?
Yeah, I don't remember. I know it was like a Tommy John kind of surgery. I don't know if it was that exactly that all the pitchers have. And then the recovery of that, I don't know. I think I read that they were expecting him to be ready for camp in August. I don't know. But that's the battle with Miami. You're going to contend against the environment. Obviously, those people with just no class, no respect, and no dignity, and no clue how to act in public, like everybody at an airport. That's the crowd that's going to be there. And then they're going to have a lot of moving pieces and transfer guys in there, and they have a new quarterback. Who's more put together for a week one battle? That's the big question.
My point in this is, and I think this might be the game plan for that week, is they're going to challenge Carson Beck to throw that ball. And if he does, if that rumor was true and he did have nerve damage, that ball's not going to be as fast as it should be.
Yeah, it's and then you have a similar thing to Riley Leonard coming to Notre Dame, where he was injured and didn't have all of spring. Like, you didn't have the normal even transfer guy run up of being at the new place, settling in and all that stuff. So it's going to be who's more put together with their new dynamic in week one. And all of America's watching. You're the only game that's Sunday. No NFL starting yet. Everyone who loves football is watching you. It's exactly what you want for the Catholics versus convicts, baby.
Oh, yeah. And I challenge them to try to run the ball against us. Because if you know that if he can't throw the ball, they're just going to try to throw. They're going to stop throwing the ball and try to run the ball. I challenge you to do that. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah, it's going to be and that's the other thing on the list. Everybody's worried about Notre Dame's new quarterback. Well, I'm also watching to see that Ash defense and make sure it isn't going to fall to ashes. So I'm looking at that too, my friend. Anything else? Thanks for the great call.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. No, I mean, everything I think I covered pretty well. The only thing I have to say is that if USC runs, well, let them run. If they're going to want to run to mediocrity, they can do that. I mean, they apparently need to run just to compete with Minnesota and Maryland. That's pretty much a priority there.
Yeah.
One of their former captains said on his own talk show in LA, he said, are we running away from competition because we can't beat Maryland? Are you kidding me? He went off. He went off saying that the AD and the coach have no idea what the traditions are of that school, and they're ruining it. Yeah. And they should not have any say for what is best for the college, because both of them never attended or went to school in that college. So what makes you so important to say this is the best for USC?
Yeah, I will defend. There's a lot of USC people that do want to keep playing Notre Dame and that are unhappy about this. And so it's going to be interesting, but let's just keep doing our thing and watch the world change around us. Hey, thanks a lot, man. Enjoy Memorial Day in the greater South Bend metropolitan area, my friend.
You as well. Thank you so much, John.
Take care. I always like 574, man, coming from local South Bend. John still needs to destroy that box of Buckeyes. I'm really worried about those just laying around the house. Hey, they're a prop, Mark. Look, I got a box of props. I'm like a magician. Look, I got my Buckeyes. Lewis gave me this at the playoff game. I got that. Then I got the spinner. I'm accumulating a little box of tricks. So I got all my little props here. in a box within reach. I mean, if we need to enter the no spin zone, we could do that with the spinner. We got whatever we need, man. I always got a box of tricks. Yeah, you're a real carrot top over there. I need to get on whatever he's on, man. That guy got roided out. He went from like skinny, weird carrot top to roided out to terrifying carrot top. Son of a buck, that guy beefed up, baby. 703, you're talking to me. What's going down?
Hey, John. How's it going? Happy Memorial Day. Hopefully praying for your mom.
Oh, thank you. I think she's going to be okay, and hopefully she can bust out of that hospital. But it was just a weird, long, kind of freaky, kind of little bit scary weekend. Anyways, thanks for the kind words, my friend. It feels good to talk about football again with you fine people. That's my healthy space. As messed up as that sounds, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
John, like, I just feel like the other, like, people at USC who, like, begrudgingly respects, like Carroll and then the McKays and Robinsons, they would have never done this. Like, these people don't know what makes college football great. They're just trying to keep their jobs, hang 10 in LA.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, do they actually care about football?
But see, like, that's the whole, this is where I wrap all of this into that LA mindset and lifestyle of like instant gratification and being shallow to get a result and sacrificing your soul for like the shiny object. That's how I view that whole cesspool of LA and that whole lifestyle and the way everybody gets by over there. That's how I view that whole thing. And now it looks like they're doing that with football. It's just like, well, you know, all those years of tradition be damned. We want to just make the playoff and like forget all that. Like the quickness with which we're willing to sacrifice these things that matter so much for the shiny new toy on the easiest path rubs me the wrong way, man.
You know what this reminds me of, John? This reminds me of Kelly. Like, Kelly wanted to just do enough. He didn't want to recruit. He didn't want to actually put an effort into the program. And I feel like that's the road they're going to down there in LA.
Yeah, and so I don't know, man. Let's see what they end up doing. Let's see if it's official. And then I want to see if there's an after effect. I want to see if that's the one that breaks the seal and some of these other teams coming up do the same thing. If they don't, man, that makes USC look bad. If Florida and Alabama and Texas and all those teams keep Notre Dame on the schedule, man, that's a weak look because those teams have the same conference argument USC has. If they all keep us on and USC does this, man, that makes them look even weaker.
Mm-hmm. And I just can't stop thinking about that game down at Miami. Like, I feel like they're going to make Carr throw, and then the whole world's going to see like how good Greyhound's face on and fields are. Like, I feel like it's going to be a big game for them.
Yeah, it's man, it's going to be a big moment, man. You're Notre Dame. We've gone over it before. The beginning part of this schedule, man, you got to navigate there. Look at how hard life was for Notre Dame when you have one loss by the second game. Look at the position you feel like you're backed into. And Notre Dame rode it out successfully last year. I wouldn't put money down that you could repeat that. That's hard to do. So Notre Dame's got to get off to a good start here, man. A lot of pressure.
I kind of like that week 2 bye because they can like snap, like if hopefully after a victory, like they can snap back into reality, like not think that, hey, it's going to be easy going from here. It's still like we only did, like it's probably the biggest game it might be the biggest game of the year, but after getting that one done, like, hey, it's back to work, back to
I'm going to argue this.
Get a better team.
This is going to sound really weird, but I genuinely mean it. I've been thinking about this lately. That off week between Miami and A&M could end up being literally the most important week of the year. Whether you're 1-0 and you need to not read your own press clippings and get serious about doubling down and beating A&M, or God forbid you're 0-1 and everything comes crumbling down. You're going to have 2 weeks between games where all the media is negative, ripping the new quarterback and whatever in the Ash defense, whatever goes wrong. Can you crawl out of that and not go 0-2 and then the whole thing? And Notre Dame's a one-hit wonder last year. Freeman's nothing. Like that in between week and how Notre Dame handles it, whether it's high or low, is going to be very, very important. I'm already looking at it.
Mm-hmm. And I was watching someone else preview Notre Dame, and he thinks that Carr is going to get over 3,500 yards. Do you think that our quarterback will get over that?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Including the playoffs.
I don't know. What is our health situation? What is the O-line situation? Is this wide receiver group really a little bit of a notch up compared to what we've seen the last few years? I got a lot of questions, and I'll tell you this. Get behind Miami a few times in the pass game, and I'm a lot more likely to buy into all this.
Mm-hmm. John, do you think this line is the best in 17? I really am feeling good about our line.
I am not ready to say that. I am not ready to say that. I'm not. A little too many. We're coming off injuries, and I still think there's some guys they may move around a little bit. I need to see it to believe it, kind of. And I think later in the year they're going to be fine, whatever lineup you have. But I don't have till later in the year for you to be good enough. You can't lose those early games. I'm in wait and see on that. Yeah. I'm a wait and see on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one more thing I want to see in this first game is like they're probably going to pass too. I mean, I love the interceptions with Gray, but I want to see him like stay with the receiver and not get beat. That's one thing I want to see.
Yep, it's going to be interesting, and especially if it's true that it looks like there's going to be a lot more zone scheme here with the Ash defense than there was under Al Golden. A lot more zone than you saw wanting to do like man up all the time. And I want to see if that ends up being a good decision or a bad decision. I don't know. I don't know, but that's what I'm anticipating. And I want to see how our secondary adjusts.
Okay, that makes me a little nervous, but hopefully Ash knows what he's doing.
Yep, and you got a lot of long, athletic, lanky bodies back there that could get in those, if you're in a zone and cover a lot of ground, have a lot of range. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, or if it takes their aggressiveness away that you have in man coverage that you don't in zone. I want it. Let's just see it. So I'm not down on Ash, but it is a question about the level of this defense till I see that he hasn't torn it down.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's good. I liked Golden's defense so much that it's gonna be an adjustment. Hopefully, it won't be too much of an adjustment during the season.
Yeah, you got a lot of good players. You got some good players there, so hopefully they could take the new scheme and thrive in it, or whatever changes there are and thrive in it. So I don't know, man. It'll be really, really interesting to see. Thanks for giving me a call on Memorial Day. Have a good one, man. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, have a great time with your family.
Oh, thanks, man. Take care. It's Sly Fox. The O-line needs to gel. That may take time. You know what I'm going to say to that, Sly. You've been around here long enough. You know what I'm going to say to that. Every time I yell about this, like an O-line or whatever early in the year, and I always have some football genius tell me, John, you don't understand ball. It takes time for an O-line to gel. You don't have any time. What do you mean it takes time? Oh, well, it's okay if you lose 3 of your first 6 games, but then later in the year, they're a lot better. No. I understand it takes time to gel. The idea is you do good enough to win while you're not fully formed. This is Notre Dame. You need to be good enough to win while you're gelling. Not get your quarterback beheaded and you can't run the ball at all, but by week 8, when you have 3 losses, you're gelled. That doesn't do me any damn good. Too late. You need to be good enough to not lose while the gelling process is going on. That's all I'm saying. My main man, Martinez. What up, baby?
Hold on. I'll come back. I got to get this call. Hey, Johnny, how are you?
What's up, man?
Got done dedicating that workout to Captain Murphy and all of our soldiers, both alive, fallen, and to be. But everything's great, man. How are you guys in? It's Memorial Day morning.
I'm doing good, man. It's just, I'm glad you got that good workout in with the good purpose minded, man. I just love being here talking football with our people, man. It's great. We have a little bit of a different crowd on a Monday where people are usually at work. It's a little different vibe. It's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Also too, I thought it was a perfect, and I haven't done one in like 7 years. 7, 8 years. And so, it's a dedication too to your favorite man, Coach Leahy. You know what I mean? God,
Yep.
country, Notre Dame.
There you go, baby.
That's our motto and stuff. And but to touch on the USC Notre Dame thing, man, it's their loss. Ultimately, it'll be their loss. Because you said it best. It's whoever we can go to anywhere else, and we're gonna draw a crowd. One of the drivers, when I stayed at the Inn of St. Mary's, takes you on this amazing little tour right in their shuttle. He's very well knowledged in the buildings at Notre Dame and just the history of it. You know what he told me? He says there's 8 weekends that I know of that half a dozen businesses make their revenue and overhead in 8 weekends. You know what they are? They're the 6 home games of Notre Dame, the greatest program in all the land. And then there's the RV show, and then there's the Supercross or something. Goes 8 weekends, and 6 out of those 8 weekends are the home games. Now, whoever drops us, they're going to lose out on their revenue, on their intake, and their overhead. And so ultimately, it's always their loss, regardless if it's an up season or a down season. Everybody wants to put that notch on their belt that they defeated or they played the University of Notre Dame. You know what I mean, buddy?
Yeah. Yep. Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Listen, this is a good time to be a Notre Dame fan. Most stable the program's been in 30 years. I can't wait to see. You got to get it over the hump, though, my main man. You got to get this over the hump. You are close. You got to win a damn title with this. You're entering that window, man. Freeman's moving out, a new coach into what should be the beginning of his prime. That roster's flipped over more in his vision. We got to get this thing going.
No, and I agree. And two things, Johnny, that I just want to touch on. Then I'll let the rest of the guys in. I'll let you get on with your amazing Memorial Day weekend. Here's the thing: this man comes into Notre Dame, right, and he converts to Catholicism. And I don't think the fans. I know we're looking at wins and losses, and I don't think what type of decision that is in somebody's life to convert, to Catholicism. And he did because first and foremost, he's a husband to his wife. He's a father to his children. He embodies and intakes everything that the University of Notre Dame is. And I think that alone right there that we forget of, because we do look at wins and losses. We look at recruiting. We look at game team strategy, right? That we overlook at times, maybe something like that. And Tom probably said about this man came in and embraced it and converted. Hey, man, you know what that tells you right there? This isn't Charlie Wise, say a Catholic, or Nick Saban, who is a Catholic, who were born or whatever. This man comes in his mid-30s as a young father and a young husband and converts to Catholicism, not only as an example to his children or to his wife, but to everybody. I mean, if that doesn't tell you dedication, you know what I mean, then I don't know what does.
Yep.
With that being said, I agree with you. I think he'll have the support, both financially and just fan base, to get us over that hump, Johnny, man. I really do. And you know, that's why you say, Freeman's got to get that over that hump. And I think because of that one move, and it's so significant, man, that we forget about it as fans. And second thing, Johnny, hey, this main man has his flight tickets booked to the greatest program in all the land to meet the Remedy John Kennedy at the Always Irish Tailgate in South Bend. Come on, let's give him a hand.
Yeah, let's do it,
Johnny.
Let's do it. Yeah,
September 20th, buddy.
It's going to be fun, man. I can't wait to see everybody. It's always great to add new people to the mix. You're a little bit of a celebrity here, thanks to your calls. Everybody's going to be excited to see you. If I can get you and Lewis both there on the same weekend, we're in trouble. The whole town's in trouble. If we got all of our crowd together, look out.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny, I fly in at 5 p.m. You'll get more information, right? We're about 4 months away. If you're doing anything the night prior, correct? Like
yeah.
At a pub or at a restaurant thing?
Yeah, we'll figure out those plans. And if we're going to have a meeting spot or whatever, we'll let everybody know. But yeah, we got months to figure that out.
All right, Johnny. Love you guys. I'll let you go. I'll let you get to the callers. Thank you, all you memorial, all you servicemen, and to those we've lost, and those we've fallen. God bless you and your families. Thanks, Johnny. Onward, Notre Dame.
Have a good one. Very, very well spoken. Very well spoken. 949 up on the line. What's going on?
Well, first and foremost, just thoughts and prayers and condolences to all of those who lost their lives for our freedoms. And I think even more significantly, those whose names we'll never know. And especially because this is a Notre Dame show, those that were from the University of Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's man, it is it's a somber, weird holiday in a lot of ways for a lot of people. It's very, very interesting, all depending on perspective and how much you want to think about this stuff and what it means. But yeah, man, important day.
Absolutely. And I want to follow up on something on Tom's idea and just give it a little bit more juice. Not only schedule an Oregon or a Texas or an Alabama on Thanksgiving Day, but play it either in the Los Angeles, the new stadium in Los Angeles, or play it in Petco Park in San Diego, or pay it, rent out the Rose Bowl, play it there.
Telling you, dude, I like that Petco. I went there for work like 15 years ago and went to a Padres game. I love that little downtown area and that stadium setup. And it was real, like, family friendly. I don't know. I love my experience there. I like that building.
It's a neat little park, although, those of us that were around back in the day, nothing was better than Jack Murphy. It had the second biggest parking lot in the NFL. The largest was New Jersey, but tailgating was off the hook. But great for college football, and I think it's significant and important for Notre Dame to play there every 2 years in Southern California for recruiting purposes.
Yeah, and
so we can piss in their own backyard. That's like walking up on their Thanksgiving table and pissing all over their Thanksgiving meal. Let's do it. But I think it's a great idea to schedule those teams every 2 years and play them in Los Angeles. Maybe a Florida game or a Texas game in the opposite 2 years.
Yeah.
That said, I think I've shared with you in the past that my business partner is a very prominent USC alum with 2 degrees from USC. Side story, I took him to Notre Dame for the very first time 2 years ago. He fell in love with it, so much so he's taking his son back for this game. They are pissed.
Yeah.
Their claim is that to get rid of the series with Notre Dame without extending it another 100 years just shows how out of touch that Jen Cohen, Lincoln Riley, and Worsham, I think his name is Cody Worsham.
It's LA living. I'm telling you, it's Californication, man. I made that little video with the help of Mark with glasses doing the chili peppers. It is literally like when I think of Californication, this is the kind of thing I think about. That environment distorts your sense of values, and it just messes you up in your priorities. I'm telling you, I think it's a real disease.
Yeah, and I think it's true for those that weren't raised in. But he was raised in it, and they're pissed. They want the tradition.
Yeah.
They want to stick to the good. They view Notre Dame as valued rivalry. And in my opinion, that's Notre Dame's only rival. Michigan isn't a rival. Michigan is an enemy.
Yeah.
Navy isn't a rival. Navy is a friend. And I would say the same with Army. Army is a friend. And for all those schools that bad mouth that Notre Dame plays the academy, it's a matter of respect. And the respect has to mean something. And I bring that up on a day like today. you have to respect the military academies, and half those programs don't, especially the ones that say, oh, well, you play the military academy. So I say, F you, and you could choose your F word that you want. But that's it. I'll keep it short. God bless you. God bless everybody listening. And thank you to all of those who sacrificed their lives so that we may enjoy talking on this day about Notre Dame football.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the kind words as always. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. What a nice guy. What a nice guy. 574. Is this my main man, Walter? Are you skateboarding today or what? What are you doing to celebrate Memorial Day? Skateboarding?
I might. I was skating for 4 hours yesterday.
Man, that's exciting. I hope you didn't break nothing. What's on your mind?
Not much. Here's the thing. If USC wants Notre Dame to be in the Big Ten, they're going to have to agree to do something they don't want to do, which is man up, play in South Bend's freezing tent Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
You don't get to run anything. We run it. We own the rivalry.
Yeah, it's really but that's when I push back when people are like, "Oh man, you should bend over backwards to accommodate whatever USC wants if the rivalry means that much to you." And I'm saying, I'm not dating them. I'm not married to them. We're rivals. We're not the ones who changed the entire setup. So it's like, I don't think it should be on us to just bend over backwards and do what they want.
Yeah, screw their September off. I'll play Michigan in September. I'll save USC for the end of the year.
Yeah, it's man. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but if they bow out, it's a bad look. It's a weak look. People are gonna hold it against them. Whatever the reasoning they have is, it's just gonna be a bad look. I do want to give a lot of the USC people credit that are unhappy about this and saying you're gonna lose some of our identity if you do this. I want to be fair. There's a large chunk of USC people that are against them doing this, and I want to give credit to those people.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, hell, Pete Carroll would probably be laughing at Lincoln Riley right now if he could. Pete Carroll would never back down. As a matter of fact, if it turns out that it's go ahead before the season starts, play the song "Won't Back Down" before the game starts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be, I don't know, man. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. And I want to see if these other conferences try and squeeze Notre Dame or if this is a one-off and it just makes USC look bad. I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to be a good question. But one thing about the Clemson game being 12 for the next 12 years, a friend of mine, his cousin is a big Clemson fan. I bet he's excited about that, especially since he lives around South Bend.
It's going to be a really, really good rivalry. It's going to be a fun game to have every year, but nothing in the world is going to replace the intense, pure, natural hatred between Notre Dame and USC.
No.
I love playing Clemson, and I respect that program and everything, but nothing is ever going to give us that feel. Nothing.
No, it won't. Plus, their fans are about too classy to do that. But another thing is, with USC, I didn't know it was a rivalry. Like I said, I started watching Notre Dame like around May 2004. I thought Michigan was a rivalry. I mean, it is, but I didn't realize how big a rivalry USC was until that 05 game where I feel we should have let Jarrett Storr instead of tackling him.
Yeah, that was, I've never been the same. I will never recover from that. It changed me permanently leaving the stadium. I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
I thought you recovered from that with the New Year's Six game. I mean, come on now. Couldn't that give you a full sense of recovery?
Man, it's one of those things that'll change you. And I've never been the same since that moment. And you're right. I don't think you would never find Pete Carroll trying to bow out of this game. It's going to be hard for anybody to convince me Lincoln Riley isn't behind this idea somehow. He seems so weaselly looking to cut a corner. I guarantee he's involved and wouldn't mind to see us go bye-bye.
True. you got me on that one. But I think when he noticed that Oklahoma was going to join the SEC, he quietly ran away.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I have something to sing. Cry on to USC, amen, cry on to misery. We feel ashamed. We run away from Notre Dame to USC, cry on to misery, cry on.
I like that. That's pretty good, Walter. Hey, get out there and skate and don't hurt yourself and have a good day. All right, my man?
Talk to you soon,
Yeah,
man.
talk to you. Thanks for the donation. Oh, man. Is this the Domer WAP 464 with no information? It's a hidden number. Are you some sort of celebrity?
Don't ask me about my business.
Yeah, I know. Hey, that's how I know it's a big time. Whenever the number's got no details, I start thinking, what's going on here? What's up?
Hey, Faizan. Yeah, don't WAP, man. Yeah, first time caller, long time listener. Love your show, my Faizan.
Oh, I appreciate that. And look at that crystal clear phone line, too. This is a good start. I like it.
Oh, that's good because I'm calling an IP phone, so there's always a little bit of a lag. So I beg your pardon if that's the case. So thank you.
Sounds good so far.
Hey, first of all, thoughts and prayers to your mother.
Oh, thank you. I think she'll be all right. We got to bust her out of the hospital. Let's get her out of here.
Fantastic. I know I got a guy, so if you need help on that.
I'm telling you, you're an international man of mystery. You're an international man of mystery here with the hidden phone number. And like, I don't know what you're into, but I'm intrigued.
Hey, today in Veterans Day, I always am reminded of the mantra, God, Country, Notre Dame. And that, that side entrance at the Basilica.
Yep.
That has the WW1 World War I helmet. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to, I wanted to talk a little bit about this whole AQ. I'm business. Don't ask me about football, but my background's business. So I look at this and I think this AQ that's coming, I think it solves a big problem. And there were competing interests, and I can appreciate where, schools were trying to, have a clean path to the CFP. But now that we have AQ, and your callers effectively mentioned that they basically, as long as they get in the top four, the Big Ten, the SEC, they're good to go. So out of conference doesn't matter. A loss.
Yeah.
Now, where did this come from? You hit that. You mentioned that, and I was like, bingo. And where did this come from? Now, I'm business, follow the money. This came from the media partners. They were pushing this agenda because they want these big matchups. They want the eyeballs. In my view, Notre Dame is in the catbird seat. They're a huge brand. They got so many, one thing about Notre Dame is either love them or hate them. There's very few people that don't have an opinion about Notre Dame.
Yep.
I love it when people hate Notre Dame. Yep. It's great.
Still moves the needle.
Ship it in.
Every butt in the seat and every eyeballs on the TV moves the needle, whether it's for or against you.
Exactly. Now, there's a lot of talk about moving to 9 games. Where did that come from? Again, media partners. They're sick and tired of these, this diet of sweets, these cupcakes that, the SEC and the Big Ten were playing out of conference. So they're trying to get them to kind of play some more marquee matchups. They trying to maximize their investment. So it's money, so I think that's not necessarily something that's going to play against Notre Dame. That's kind of an independent thing. Now, there's been a lot of talk about getting boxed out, SEC, Big Ten.
Yeah,
I think exactly the opposite, honestly. Jack is very close to Sankey. Jack's still around. He's the man behind the scenes. Remember, he's in that Rudy project. The guy was, he was the one who set up to have a seat. Bavakwa is brilliant. The guy, obviously, the strategic move on Jack's part to bring somebody in with a media background. The guy used to run NBC Sports. I'm repeating things that everybody talked about already, but it's re-emphasizing this. These are the new ADs. I'm sorry, these are the new commissioners. In Notre Dame, the AD is effectively a commissioner. We're a conference of one. You look at Petiti, he's from a media background. If you look at Yormark, media background. Those are the new commissioners. Why? Because you know what? Media is driving the bus. Follow the money.
Yeah.
So you better believe Bavaco's got a direct line to people at Fox Sports, NBC Sports, and CBS. Do you think, honestly, Fox Sports wants to give up this game with USC? I find this a lot of, I think it's a lot of. I'd be very surprised if it got canceled completely, because I think there's just too much money involved. Nobody wants to watch Rutgers play Northwestern. Those are always in BTN Overflow 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want the eyeballs. They want the viewership. They need to justify this exorbitant amount of money they're paying the conferences. So the other thing, kind of as a side note, the Big Ten has less skin in the game for the CFP. That's ESPN. Finally, remember triangular diplomacy. This is Nixon. SEC is not going to box out. I'm sorry, the Big Ten and the SEC will not. They'll be careful not to box out Notre Dame, because you see, if they do that, then the potential is they go the other way. See, SEC doesn't want Notre Dame to join the Big Ten. The Big Ten doesn't want Notre Dame to join the SEC. Jack is brilliant at this. He's played this game. He knows how to play this triangular diplomacy, so he's playing him off. Then you also have the media partners saying, why would you want to box out one of the premier brands in the country in favor of what? Rutgers? No.
Okay, well, wait.
So,
wouldn't okay, let's play devil advocate. Wouldn't the answer to that be making the playoff and getting all that extra money? Right? Like, they're not going to say Rutgers. They're going to say, maybe not having that game allows us to make it further in the playoff, and we value that a lot more than a regular season game. Like, that could be their answer. I don't know.
The playoff games are only ultimately benefit ESPN, really, and Notre Dame, of course, but it has no bearing in terms of the media partners for the Big Ten.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Fox wants to have USC play Notre Dame. They want those games.
Yeah.
Only problem is the Big Noon kickoff at 9 a.m. would be difficult, and that's their kind of desired time slot. But you bet CBS and NBC over there pushing, saying, no, don't let us go.
Yeah, it's man, I don't know. I wish I knew what was in all these people's brains, how they're thinking about this from a negotiative lens, how each party's envisioning this and where they want it to go and what they want it to look like. I don't know.
Follow the money.
Yeah, I guess
just follow the money.
I guess.
I think you just got to follow the money.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, I think it's the opposite's going to happen. People talking about forcing Notre Dame to join a conference. I think the opposite's going to happen. We're going to be moving more and more towards a meritocracy and away from the socialism that we have in conferences. And that's evidenced by schools like, last few years, you got Clemson, you got Florida State complaining, saying, why are we're propping up the ACC. We put more money, we earn more money, we bring more eyeballs. And then you got Wake Forest, and it's an equal split.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think, how is it that Michigan and Ohio State are getting the same amount of money that Rutgers is getting?
Yeah. Isn't the ACC changing that? I believe the ACC's changed that. Yeah. Now, and that's a big,
that's right.
It's a big winner for Clemson to have Notre Dame every year, because they're almost guaranteed to have one of the top pieces of that pie. Now that teams that draw more ratings get more money.
And the media partners had a big play in that. They'd rather have Clemson play Notre Dame than play Wake Forest. So I think those are some of the considerations, in my view, that I think are,
Yep, it's interesting.
I think Lincoln Riley. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're right, though. Follow the money and ask yourself where it's coming and where it's going, and you can figure out a lot of answers to a lot of questions in modern life.
Yeah. So my message to Lincoln Riley, kind of before my last thing on the way out, is Lincoln Riley and the AD of USC, just like in Goodfellas, go get your shine box.
Yeah,
that's my message for him.
I like that. I like that.
And then one final message, and I'll let you go. I got a really great story about Frank Leahy, and that's for another time. A colleague of mine was Frank Leahy's grandson. Ryan Leahy, he was a captain, one of the captains of the 93.
Yeah. I still
team.
got that poster. I
Launched-
remember that poster they made that year, and he was on it, and it's like a huge, like 3x2 poster. I got it for Christmas, and he was on there. I remember it.
Oh, then you'll love it. He's a wonderful person. I have a great story. Visit to Notre Dame to see Father Husberg. That's for another time. And anyways, love your show and love everybody in the chat. And that's it, my friend.
Hey, thanks a lot for
Have a
calling,
wonderful
man.
afternoon.
Now I'll know when I see that mysterious number with no information. I'll know who it is now. I like it. I like that. I never know what I'm going to get. I never know what I'm going to get when it doesn't have any info. So you're the man of Irish intrigue, and it's really nice to hear from you. And also, thanks for being around all the time. Even if you don't call, I see you in the chat. Means a lot. Thank you.
Thanks, Paisan. Take care.
Have a
great
good
day.
one.
Bye now.
Take it easy. Take it easy, people. Take it easy. Tom Chris, $24.88, $10 holler. I really appreciate it. It's good. It's good to have. Are we sure John just isn't shrinking his shirts? That's what it is. I'm not just changing anything. I'm just buying smaller clothes. That's all. That's all I'm doing. Just buy smaller clothes and then you look bigger. That's a brilliant idea, actually. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. I gotta check in with mom, do a lot of things, and then maybe we'll have something to go to later in the day. I don't know. Our plans are all messed up, but it felt good to be here with you guys. A sense of normalcy in what was a weird weekend. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for the chats. I'll have something for you tomorrow. Remember, we're probably going to do the Raw live tomorrow. Give people today to hang out and do whatever they want to do. And then we'll go from there. So God bless everybody who served, everybody we've lost in the pursuit of our freedom here. Special day in a weird way. But I love this show, and thanks, you guys. Everybody have a good one. Take care now. Be good.